My Fellow Dragon Horse, The Treasure Rings by Taiki Nakaso.
About Stutter. Stutter Herrick III is the eldest brother and the strategic king of the dragon horses. He is a tactical genius who wears an ancient Viking helm and uses his ring of command to lead his brothers through a brutal world. The note from Stutter: I am Stutter Herrick III. Today I leave the boy behind. My brothers are cold, and they are afraid. If I stay a pony, we will die. If I become a king, we might survive. I will find the steel we need. I will find the strength to lead. I will not come home until the world knows the name of the dragon horses. This is my promise. This is my burden. Chapter 1. The Wastes of the Wendigo. The wind shrieked through the skeletal trees of the silent forest, carrying a frost that threatened to turn their blood to ice. Rainlout shivered, his black scales dusted with snow, while Seedlout tried to shield Fishfront from the biting gale. They were no longer the creatures they used to be. They were dragon horses, but they were still young and untested. The cold is getting deeper, Stutter, Rainlout said, his teeth chattering as he gripped his bone-handled blade. We can't keep moving like this. If we don't find shelter, the Wendigos will find us first. Stutter looked at a massive mountain beast lurking in the fog, its eyes glowing with a primal hunger. We aren't going to hide. Rainlout, get your wings ready. Seedlout, you're the anchor. We're taking that beast down. With what? Fishfront cried, clutching his scrolls. We've barely learned how to use our dragon strength. You'll learn now, Stutter replied. Under his command, the brothers coordinated a perfect strike. Rainlout used his wings to create a blinding spray of snow, distracting the beast, while Seedlout used his powerful frame to pin it against a cliffside. When the beast fell, they didn't just eat, they worked. They spent hours scraping the hide and carving the bones. By the time the sun set, they were draped in heavy, fur-lined armor and carrying weapons carved from the creature's own ribs. This is our first layer of defense, Stutter told them. The wastes won't claim us tonight. Chapter 2. The Island of the Sky Shield. A massive supernatural tornado snatched the brothers from the ground, hurling them through the clouds until they crashed onto the jagged, vertical cliffs of the Sky Shield Island. The island was a graveyard of ancient technology, filled with rusted gears the size of houses and stone guardians that hummed with blue energy. The map says the treasure ring is at the highest peak, Stutter noted, pointing to a spire hidden in the clouds. How are we supposed to get up there? Rainlout asked, looking at the narrow, winding paths guarded by swinging iron blades and poisoned dart traps. The crosswinds are too strong for even a dragon horse to fly safely. We move between the traps, Stutter said. Seedlout, when that pendulum swings left, you move. Rainlout, you follow. Fishfront, stay in my shadow. They climbed for hours, dodging mechanical sentries that lunged from the rock faces. Seedlout used his bone shield to deflect arrows, while Rainlout used his agility to leap over collapsing floorboards. At the summit, they entered a chamber where the ring of command waited on a stone pedestal. As Stutter claimed it, the island's defense systems powered down. One piece of the puzzle is ours, Stutter said, as the ring pulsed with light. Chapter 3. The Serpent's Den. They traveled deep into the earth, entering the humid, glowing tunnels of the Serpent's Den. The air smelled of sulfur, and the floor was alive with the sound of sliding scales. Hundreds of serpents watched them from the crevices, their fangs dripping with glowing venom. One bite and it's over, Fishfront whispered, his tail twitching nervously. Stutter, there are too many. We should turn back. We need the marks, Stutter replied. Suddenly, the alpha serpent emerged, a massive titan with scales like obsidian. It hissed, a sound that shook the very walls of the cave. Rainlout drew his sword, but Stutter stepped forward, holding the ring of command high. I am the king of the dragon horses. Stutter roared. You will not strike. You will yield. The ring's light flooded the cavern, and the alpha serpent froze, then slowly lowered its head to the ground in a sign of absolute submission. Now, Stutter commanded, tame your mounts. The brothers spent the next week at a volcanic vent inside the den. Stutter directed the forging of their gold and silver bracelets. As the metal cooled and the marks of the main six were etched into the metal, their transformation was complete. They weren't just brothers anymore. They were the true dragon horses. Chapter 4. The Abyssal Trenches. The path led into the Abyssal Trenches, a world of total, crushing darkness, where the air felt thick and heavy. The silence was so loud it began to drive Fishfront to the edge of madness, causing him to hear voices that weren't there. They're coming for us, Stutter, Fishfront whispered in the dark. The ghosts of the trench, they want us to stay here forever. No one is staying here, Stutter said firmly. He focused all his energy into his horn, which erupted in a brilliant golden light that pushed the darkness back. I will be the light. I will be the watchman. Sleep, all of you. You've been awake for 5 days, Stutter, Seedlout argued, his voice heavy with exhaustion. You're gonna collapse. I'll collapse when we see the sky again, Stutter replied. For 7 days, he didn't close his eyes. He stood at the edge of their camp, his golden glow serving as a physical barrier against the shadow creatures that prowled the perimeter. He guided them through the labyrinth of whispers, ensuring that every brother kept his mind intact until they finally climbed back toward the surface. Chapter 5. The Siege of the Iron Gate. A massive, black iron fortress blocked the only pass into the heart of the wild lands. This was the Iron Gate, guarded by a legion of stone golems that never tired and never felt pain. We can't sneak past that, Rainlout said, looking at the rows of stone soldiers. And we can't fight them all, even with our dragonfire. We don't have to fight them all, Stutter said, his ring flashing with tactical data. We only have to break the gate. Seedlout, you're the ram. Rainlout, you're the distraction. I found the structural weakness in the hinges. Seedlout took a deep breath and braced his heavy bone shield. Ready when you are. Rainlout, dive now, Stutter shouted, as Rainlout drew the golem's attention away from the entrance with a series of aerial maneuvers. Seedlout charged with the force of a mountain. Stutter used the ring of command to amplify their timing to the exact second. The iron gate groaned and shattered, the magical seal breaking into 1,000 pieces. They stormed into the armory, discarding their bone weapons for heavy steel swords and reinforced plating. They were finally equipped for a true war. Chapter 6. The Blood Moon War. The sky turned a deep, sickly red as the blood moon rose over the valley. On the horizon, the Wendigo hordes gathered, thousands of ghostly spirits and ice-armored monsters. Stutter pulled his Viking helm over his head, the metal cold and steady against his scales. They have an army that never dies, Fishrunt said, his voice trembling as he recorded the moment. How do we stop a horde like this? We don't just stop them. We break them, Stutter declared. He turned to the tribes he had gathered from the wastes. Follow the dragon horses. For your freedom. The battle was a whirlwind of fire and steel. Stutter directed the forces with flawless precision. Rainlout, hit the flank. Seedlout, hold the center. Don't let the shield wall buckle. The brothers fought as one, their bracelets glowing with the power of their marks. Stutter charged through the center of the horde, meeting the Wendigo King in a clash of blades that sent sparks flying into the red night. With one final, calculated strike, Stutter shattered the king's frozen heart. The horde dissolved into mist. Standing among the ruins of the battlefield, the brothers looked at each other. They had survived the trials, earned their marks, and become the legendary dragon horses.